Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. We are continuing to play Star Trek Captain's Log, which is the solo version of Star Trek Adventures. We are on our 9th episode. We have played through 2 adventures so far. We've rolled 2 adventures played through. Really enjoyed them. We are now going to approach our 3rd adventure. So what this will probably be a much shorter session than normal, because all we'll do is we'll just roll up using the tools within the Captain's Logbook, and then we will try and find our adventure, and next week we will begin that adventure process. Probably this is our last adventure cycle for Captain Methane and the USS Rumta. So this would be the end of Series 1, the last adventure of Series 1, because then the big thick book needs to go into a box and go off to Belgium. So first off, we are going to roll our mission. So what do we do for that? So we turn to the generating mission types page. That's what we do. So 1, start by rolling the mission type, page 257. So we roll a d20 and we get our mission type. Our mission type is a 12. Planetary exploration. Nice. Right, so after we've rolled planetary exploration, which is our main mission type, we then roll on a sub-table type to try and find out what exact details it is that we have about this planetary exploration. So planetary exploration is our mission. Starfleet's primary goal is to seek out new worlds. Once a noteworthy planet has been identified, it must be explored. Extensive scans of the planet's surface, composition and atmosphere must be made. Science teams must be sent down to collect samples of flora and fauna. Geological surveys to determine mineralogical composition and planetary development must be conducted. You could spend a lifetime surveying all plants, minerals and animals on a single world, and that is in the absence of any intelligent life forms. The presence of intelligent life only complicates the process, which often leads to covertly monitoring the civilization to determine the viability of first contact. Alright, so based on that, we have the fact that we have been scanning. Okay, well, I'm going to roll the sub bit, but I've already got an idea of why we might, based on the fact that we move around fixing subspace relays. Why might a 20? Unusual flora or fauna holds solution. Oh, all right, okay. So we've got that. I'll write that down 20 so I don't forget we rolled it, or tuck it into the corner. So, unusual flora or fauna holds solution. That is a weird. So roll on the specific types matrix to determine more details about the mission you have been assigned. All right. So let's think. We fix subspace relays. That is what the Rumta does. The Rumta is an engineering ship that's primary purpose, its primary mission is to place new subspace relays or to maintain other subspace relays. Secondary mission is to just run around fixing stuff that's broken, such as the USS Matrix in the last mission was what we were supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be fixing the USS Matrix. So that is the primary job of the USS Rumta. That is Captain Methane, which isn't Martin, it's Methane, M-E-T-E-E-N. It means immediately in Dutch, Methane. Captain Methane's primary job is to lead a crew to fix these things. So we are scanning this area of space, an outer edge. Maybe we've moved into the beta quadrant slightly, or we've moved, so we're a few years, maybe we're a period of time on. So on from the last mission. Maybe we can say that the relationships between, particularly between Klingon, Romulan and Federation is fragile due to that Titan. So this is, so last week's how-to was on journaling. The cuts that you're seeing at the moment is me taking notes, journaling. So bullet point notes. So for instance, I've got scanner alpha quad on from last mission, scanner alpha quad, relation between Klingon, Rom and Fed fragile due to last mission. Oh, due to Titan, actually, but I'm scribbly writing, I can't read. So we are on the outer quadrant, we're doing a scan. During that scan, so maybe it's to place a new relay. Place a new subspace relay to make the communication in this area of the quadrant, this outer edge of the alpha quadrant. Maybe it's bordering on beta. So it's not near the neutral zone, the whole of that neutral zone area. I don't know if there's a map in this book. I can't be bothered looking it up. So we're going to just plonk it somewhere over in space, not near there, somewhere else. And we detect a planet, a new planet that hasn't been, so it's a new planet, a new planetoid. It's like I was reading that they've definitely identified, I can't remember its name, that a ninth planet, well, planetoid, because it's not that big. It's like something like 300 kilometers diameter, so it's not that big. But it's on the outer edges of our solar system, and it's been knocking around there for ages. Me believing in, I have strong belief in the presence of non-human entities in and around our space. Then particularly there's several interstellar visitors that we've had. 2019, 2022, no, 2017, 2019, and there's one approaching soon, which is massive. And so all of these things, outer edges. Anyway, there's a planetoid. We have found a new planetoid, a new planet, and we have gone off. We've been told we need to scan it. So we identified it. Now we need to run some scans. Will take a while. Now we hit our key, which is unusual flora or fauna holds solution. Whatever that means. Unusual flora or fauna holds solution. All right. So, incident. Next we need to have an incident and a theme combined to form so that's 267. Incident and theme will have orange is incident, red is theme. Orange is an 11, red is a 6. So 11, incident. Rescue. Didn't we have rescue last? But we can work a rescue in here. Like maybe a survey team goes down, we send a survey team down. It wouldn't contain Matane because Matane is not a biologist in any way, shape or form. He's an engineer. So there's no point sending Matane down. And so there's a rescue is our incident, and our theme is gravimetric distortion. Ooh, gravimetric distortion. Now that makes me think, okay, so maybe gravimetric distortion, I mean, we can find more stuff, but the thoughts I've got is that a team goes down, they need rescuing, that needs engineering. There may be the ship has to go due to gravimetric distortions. Due to gravimetric distortion, the ship can't stay in orbit. It's got to bugger off for a while whilst these gravimetric waves wash over the planetoid, and then it can come back and we're stranded on there for a while. And then the unusual flora or fauna holds the solution then is maybe we haven't got the supplies or something, and the unusual flora or fauna helps solve that problem. And then maybe ship has to go. All right, so there's a beginning. Next, roll a d20 to generate a starting advantage, an even result, or complication, an odd result. We use the orange one because it's easy to see. We have odd, which is a complication, 269. Let's see if a complication assists the story that I've already coming up with or overrides it. 3, random failure. A piece of stable equipment suddenly shorts out or a crew member fails their task in an unexpected way. Okay, so we have a complication, random failure. Now, random failure does feed into the story that we've already got generating, which is the team goes down, needs rescuing, needs engineering. So there's some form of failure. Now, we could make this a cave mission. It could be a cave mission. The cave mission would then lead to needing some form of excavation or engineering to get into a cave without collapsing the cave more. So maybe a cave mission. So our complication was random failure. What do we got next? Add even more excitement to your inciting incident by rolling on the encounters matrix 270. All right, let's roll an encounters matrix on 270. What do we got? Okay, type of encounter. All right, let's see. Type of encounter is a 4, and a 4 is deep space. We'll roll the deep space, but I might roll again because I don't know if this will work. 16. Several stars seem to shift their orbits and move about. Nay, that doesn't work with our planetary exploration. So we'll try again. A 3 is abandoned places. Okay. 13. Life support failure on derelict spacecraft. Okay, how about the reason they're in the cave is there's a derelict spacecraft which is found in the cave. And then we can work out, all right, so in cave, with the life support failed and the ship, it could be that will put even more pressure on is that the atmosphere is hostile, and that could lead to the unusual flora or fauna holds a solution is that they might give us an atmosphere. So atmosphere hostile. So with the atmosphere being hostile means that we then have a clock. So maybe we need a clock running to see what happens next, sort of thing. That's adding more excitement. As needed, generate people, places and things you may encounter during this mission. Yes. Write your opening cap. All right. Okay. So what I think we have is that this is going to be a really short one. What I think we have for our third adventure, our third story, our third mission is that we are in an area of space where we are trying to place a new subspace relay. We have been scanning this area of space, and something has caught our attention from the scans where we're trying to find the optimum place to put our subspace relay. We're doing this because the relationship, because of that last mission, so some time has moved on. So I'm going to need to find, someone suggested, I can't remember who you were, sorry. I'm really awful with remember these things off the top of my head. A clock, like for the time, for the date timestamp. So we'll try and find a time date for this period of time. So a bit later, maybe a few months on, we've fixed the USS Matrix. That went okay, and then we've gone off to do our job as proper, and this is why this situation came up. So the relationship between Romulans, the Klingons, particularly the Klingons, because of that fight we had with Korath, which is the name of that Klingon, Korath. He'll come back some other time. So that's falling down. So we've done this scan to place a new relay, and we found a new planetoid that has some form of, that is not barren, basically. It's got some form of life on board. Whilst we're taking the scans, something anomalous was appearing in the cave structure, and so we went down into that cave structure to investigate what that what those anomalous readings were. The team found a derelict spacecraft with failed life supports. The planetoid has an atmosphere which is hostile to us, to humanoids, and something happens in Act 1. Something happens in Act 1 which means that we have to go and rescue them, and it needs engineering. So Matane goes down to lead the rescue team, and as that happens, there's some gravimetric disturbance or distortion, which means that the Rumta has to leave orbit and leave us, which then is, the complication is the random failure, which was then in the cave. And then we've got the unusual flora or fauna holds a solution. So we're working towards the fact that possibly working towards the fact that some unusual flora or fauna will help us in this mission. And that is where we stand. All right, that's all right. That's cool. That's all right. I like that. That is how you then build a mission. And then we will tell that story starting next week. Cool. Okay, yeah, very short. I know this is going to look really, really short because there's some empty bits I'm going to cut out as well. So it's probably going to be just over 10 minutes. Them's the breaks. That's how we're going to do it. And then next week we'll film the actual thing. Cool. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed that. It's really short. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, do consider subscribing. Although this is the last of Series 1 stories, this will probably last another 3, possibly 4 episodes. That if you subscribe, then you'll see them coming, and you'll also know when Series 2 comes out, probably next year. Because if you're new to this, then you don't know I'm moving to Belgium soon. I live in Australia at the moment. Thank you so much to the Adventurers Guild for all your support in producing the videos. If you would like to support, you can join the Adventurers Guild. You get early access to all the videos. There is some additional behind the scenes stuff. I show how I film here in Australia, and when I get to Belgium, I'll show how I film in Belgium. There's also some additional series information there. You can also support on Patreon as well, and there's superfan thank yous and various other ways you can support. Thank you so much for your time. We will regather next week for a longer session as we begin our adventure in our planetary exploration. See ya.